IMS556. A very good morning to our lecturer, which is Madam Hasnah binti Hashim. So let's continue to my speech. My topic for the speech is what is Metaverse? So, what is Metaverse? Good question. A metaverse is currently a major buzzword in the world of tech, business, and finance. And like all buzzwords, its definition is a fuzzy contest and shaped by the ambition of the people using it. Here's one thing we can say for sure: the term was coined by Neil Stephenson in his 1992 novel Snow Crash to describe a virtual world in white blues in his imagined future, a 21st century dystopia. In Snow Crash, the metaverse is a virtual reality world depicted as a planet encycling market where virtual real estate can be bought and sold, and where VR Google wearing user inhabit 3D avatars whose form they have freedom to choose. So there are three elements, which is the first one is a VR interface, the second one is digital ownership, and the last one is avatar. Still feature prominently in current conception of the metaverse, but none of them is actually essential to the idea. In the broadest term, the metaverse is understood as a graphically rich virtual space with some degree of very similitude where people can work, play, shop, and socialize. In short, do the thing humans like to do together in real life. Metaverse prominent often focus on the concept of presence as a defining factor, feeling like you are really there and feeling like other people are really there with you too. This version of metaverse arguably already exists in the form of video games, but there another definition of the metaverse that goes beyond the virtual world we know. This definition doesn't actually describe the metaverse at all, but does explain why everyone think it is so important. This definition isn't about a vision for the future or a new technology. Rather, it looks to the past and to now commonplace technologies of the internet and smartphone, and assume that it will be necessary to invert the metaverse to replace them. The influential venture capitalist Michael Ball, who has written intensive about the metaverse, described it as a sort of successor state to the mobile internet. Mark Zuckerberg, who last year gave his company Facebook the name Meta and said the metaverse would be its focus, and has an almost identical phrase. Clearly, both essays are hugely influential on Silicon Valley thinking. Remember when smartphone revolutionized tech, the economy, and society itself? The metaverse is expected to be the end equivalent waterfall, and lots of business want to get ahead of that. There are many things to challenge in Paul's vision, but the biggest in his provision that the metaverse will be single network as open, interconnected, and interoperable and as the internet is now. That's very big ask, but we are getting ahead of ourselves. Is the metaverse new? In brief, no. We already established that the term has been around for 30 years, and not just in factual form. It formed a part of corporate vision of the future for quite some time. During the first VR boom of the as UK grocery chain Sainsbury put together a VR shopping demo that's eerily similar to a video that Walmart in the 2017. Beyond marketing puff-piece and proof of concept demos, Metaverse like virtual world has actually exists for almost as long as their fictional counterparts. Hype piece about people getting married in the Metaverse will elicit a sign of recognition from anyone who has followed online gaming for the past few decades. One of the most famous spiritual world and the closest to the Metaverse ideal is a Second Life, an online multimedia platform which launched in 2003. So, the Second Life mostly resembles an early, massively multiplayer online role-playing game like World of Warcraft, only with all the game taken out, the combats, the quests, the stories, and the reward. It fulfills many of the roles imagined for the Metaverse of the future and has done so since its launch. Users can embody it in avatar and hang out with each other in virtual space. They enjoy visual version of real-world experience from business meeting to clubbing. So users can create their own content and service and trade with one another. There's a virtual economy with its own currency, which can be exchanged with real-world currency. Second Life is almost a textbook metaverse to the extent that such a thing exists. Why is everyone suddenly talking about the metaverse? There's a few factors that have catapulted it to the forefront of the tech industry thinking in the past few years. One is that a couple of technologies closely associated with vision of the metaverse has matured. Virtual reality, which was taking its first fatal step in the 1980s, as Stephenson wrote, Snow Crash is now well a reality. Commercially available headset of decent quality exists, including standalone wireless devices like the Quest. Facebook purchase of Oculus in 2014 was an early indication of where Zuckerberg thought his business might be headed. Another is the blockchain, the barely comprehensible and energy-hungry technology that has made cryptocurrency and NFT possible. NFT, which has become an obsession for crypto enthusiasts, snack oil salesmen, suggestible executive, and some part of the art world over the last year or so could enable the ownership of virtual items and real estate within the metaverse. It should be noted that it is possible to own and even trade virtual items in plenty of games and virtual space. Second Life include without using the blockchain, but that ownership is pretty flimsy and usually subject to a license agreement. NFT offer different methodologies of proving ownership. Regardless, the uniqueness and supposed portability of NFT has metaverse proponents excited. Just as significant a factor in the metaverse trend is the coronavirus pandemic, which has radically altered lifestyle across the planet. With people spending so long in Zoom meeting for work, and with soaring use of video game as people seek to enter more colorful and exciting environment without leaving the comfort and safety of their homes. It's natural for tech company to look for ways to capitalize on the situation by bringing this to it. There's consistency in Microsoft thinking here. In 2014, around the same time Facebook acquired Oculus, Microsoft bought Mojang. Mojang is a company that's created Minecraft, and it's enormously popular game Minecraft, which with its social, creative, and deeply customizable gameplay, is often cited as a metaverse adjacent games, and it notable that Microsoft has not tried to strong arm it into exclusively on its one platform. It views Minecraft as a valuable platform in its own right. So, should I resign myself to living in the metaverse? Not just yet. Despite the maturity of the idea and the current obsession with it in boardroom, the technology still needs a lot of work, especially if it is really is to become the next internet invention by Bob and Mark Zuckerberg. And despite the pandemic that has confined so many of us to our house, a strong consumer desire for a metaverse experience that isn't just a video game has yet to be proven. The biggest obstacle to Bob and Mark Zuckerberg metaverse becoming a reality is interoperability. You might want to call it standardized. It is the idea that you will be able to take your avatar and digital position with you from one app or game or virtual world to the next. For the metaverse to become the next stage of evolution of the internet, interoperability is vital, but the hurdles are so huge as to seem insurmountable. They are technically challenged how to bring an asset from one graphic engine to another and render it faithfully across a bewildering range of hardware configuration for one. They are legal and commercial challenge too. Conserving intellectual property right and persuading countless business to agree not to wall off their garden. It's not harder than agreeing on standards for hypertext link, for example. Beyond that, people have to be persuaded that this is something they want. The technology through which we access this world need to be at least as comfortable and convenient to use as a smartphone, like we use from now, and as a portable, or it will seem like a backward step from the mobile internet is supposed to be replacing. And while the science fiction appeal of such a virtual world might seem obvious on the surface, you have to question how deep the desire to spend time there really goes. In fiction, from Snow Crash to the Mac and the Ready Player One, metaverse are usually envisioned as an escape, willing or not, from dystopian realities that are too awful to bear. I hope that we are not quite there yet. That's all from my speech. Thank you.